Now we're going to look at session state information. This is the primary way that information is used or stored in web applications today, unlike some of the older systems. So we'll look at the Chapter 8 examples, and again, these are in the Chapter 8 solution called State Management in the source code. And we'll be opening up the session state example. Let's look at this example. It's just a list and a button. When we run it, displays three different furniture items here. It displays some information. It stores some information about these furniture items in the session state, and there's three objects in the session state, and these are some of the flags that you can get for session state, including the amount of timeout, how many minutes before this session is erased. Down here, if we get more information, we just display some more information about this state. Let's look a little bit at the code for this. So let's start by looking at the page load. What we are going to do is, if this is the first time the page is loaded, we're going to create some furniture items. We just have a very simple furniture class down here that has the information, the name of the furniture, a description, and the cost, and then a simple constructor. So this is a simple furniture class just to demonstrate it. And so we create some new furniture items here. And then we're going to store those items in our state, our session variable. And so this shows how we can store an entire object in the session variable. Again, this is the session variable works like the view state in a dictionary mode. We provide a tag or a name for each element we're going to put in the session. So we say session and then bracket and then in quotes the tag, and then what we say is equal to and what we're going to store in there. So we're just storing these three pieces in tags: furniture 1, furniture 2, furniture 3. And then we're also adding their names to the list box. So that's what we do when the first time the page is loaded, if it's not a postback event. Every time the page is loaded, we update some of this information, including a session ID and that sort of stuff. So that's what you see at the top of this page, is this filling in this label with some text. Now when we click our button to get more information about it, we're checking which item is selected in our list box. And then we construct a new tag, furniture, and then we grab the number of the item. It'll be 1, 2, or 3. And so we grab actually it's 0, 1, or 2, and then we're going to add 1 to it to make it 1, 2, or 3. But we're going to grab the item number and concatenate that onto furniture to create a new key or tag. So we'll use that key to look up the session variable. So we'll just say session and then that key. And then we'll store that in the furniture. Whenever you move things in and out of state, especially objects, you have to cast them to the right type. So we're just going to cast this with the parentheses to the right type. There's our cast operator. Then once we have that piece of furniture, we can use that piece of furniture to fill in the information in the text box. So although it isn't that exciting of an app, it does illustrate good session information. So originally all the objects are stored in session variables. We see these three objects, and then we know they're maintained because when I hit this button, that information is maintained there, and I can just grab. We only are storing the name here, but we can pull out the name, the manufacturer, and the cost out of the session variables. So that's a quick overview of sessions. And I suggest you read the textbook, the section in Chapter 8 on session information and session tracking. It does give a little more details about using cookies or not. Often we will not use cookies when we're tracking session information because a number of browsers now are blocking cookies, and there are issues with cookies being used. But it does walk you through how information is stored in the session variable with the key or a tag, and how we pull information out of a session variable with the key and the tag, and how we must cast that. Finally, it walks you through the actual session example we just went through. We'll work through a different example in the practice problem to get you ready for the assignment.